manifestation courses for 199 rupees. And how much manifestation is working.
Manifestation is totally being abused here.
Gen Z is going to Manali in the pretext of Shiva, smoking up joints and bhang.
Shiva clearly didn't say, let me make a party of joints. Come, everybody come. सारे में बंदर भी आ जाओ, ये भी आ जाओ.
But वो तो प्रसाद है ना.
Correct, absolutely. I think I've just slept like, it was probably just a 20-minute nap, but it felt like a 4-hour sleep.
In a world today, or in a country today, where divine is just associated with rap, I would like to welcome Kritika Khurana into breaking divinity into what it really is. Now, divine, the word divine comes from a very beautiful, at a very small word called the soul. People associate soul with an energy, with karma, with a lot of things that are just reduced to internet trends. Kritika, can you just tell us what is trending on the internet today and why is this becoming more like a business in today's?
Hi, thank you for having me here first, Harshita, and it is really, really beautiful to be here in this space. In the morning itself, when I was leaving for the studio, I knew for sure that this is divinely guided, and I'm not going to, just use the word divine interchangeably, but when I'm terms of spirituality today is absolutely any and everything that people feel will make them make more money. Any and everything. So if you tell them take a tarot reading because your money is stuck somewhere and we can help you get your money out through a tarot reading, they will do it. You tell them you wear a particular crystal, they will do that as well. So anything that leads to easy, faster success, more money is definitely selling in the name of spirituality as well.
Talking about money, let me ask you a doubt that I have, rather, which is manifestation courses for 199 rupees. Can you just tell us, they're breaking all the internet by the storm and the reels are filled with all of that, and how much manifestation is working, like how these numbers are also, they have something to do with manifestation. What is it all about?
So first and foremost, manifestation is totally being abused here because manifestation does not mean you do something and aapko kuch milega, right?
Yeah.
Manifestation is simply, it's a concept of your mind, right? And the divinity coming together, right? So today if I'm thinking of something, that itself is a thought which is manifested. So every thought that I'm putting out into the universe is manifestation. Me being here today is also a manifestation. You being here today is also a manifestation. So by saying that, come to me for 199, 399, etc., etc., and I'm going to teach you how to manifest, let me tell you one thing. Nobody can ideally teach you how to manifest, right? You can manifest yourself when you are clear what you're putting out into the universe. It's as simple as that. So there's no tantra mantra or some jadoo tona associated with manifestation. It is as simple as saying, I want a Mercedes car. Manifestation. Ab iske liye kya karoon? Puja, part, something? No, it's like, do I have to do that to manifest it? No, you just have to constantly realign your mind to believe in that reality that you can get that Mercedes car. It's as simple as that. So 199, 399, 5999, I don't know, but manifestation is just this.
Not sway away from controversial topics. You just spoke about Tantra and Mantra, very loosely associated in Ranveer Show podcast, and not held accountability for also. However, can you tell us more about what energy means, as you also speak about Tantra and Mantra, and how is it science firstly, or is it just a belief system or a psychological system? Can you guide us more over there?
Like you very rightly, pointed out, people are really, again, using it to their own convenience. Okay, the word Tantra is just being used to their own convenience. Tantra is not something attached to negativity. Okay, Tantra is not something attached to negativity. It is not something that is bad. Tantra is definitely, it has a huge role when it comes to scientific purposes. Yes, it has a huge role there as well. And then, of course, humans, as we are known to twist, turn, and use things to our own meanings, have twisted the whole purpose. So, Tantra, aging it really back, was basically a science or a concept used to heal people. Okay, now that was misused, misled to believing that it is leading people to using black or dark practices, right? There is a light and a dark in everything. You've seen a coin, right? You will flip it, there are two sides to it as well, right? So same way, spirituality or Tantra, like you just very clearly specified, also has two sides to it. I believe in white magic. Somebody sitting next to me could be believing in black magic. Right? But does that mean that it's bad, it's wrong? If you do it for a wrong purpose,
then it's wrong.
But if you're using that purpose to actually help somebody out of something that they're suffering with, right? Which means your intention is right. So I don't see the problem in it. Of course, I'm not selling ways of, doing dark practices and all of that, because that's one field I honestly do just kind of stay away from, because I feel if you can guide people through white magic, why use those routes, right? When there is a Siddha Rasta, why do you need to go the longer way or the Teda way? You can absolutely do the same thing in a more cleaner manner, where I'd say your intention is clean. People involved around you are also not getting affected. You are not getting affected. Most and main important question, that you are not going to get affected neither in your future lifetimes, neither with your previous lifetimes, nothing. If you are following the path of what your karma is asking you to do, then let me tell you one thing, black magic आपके रास्ते में आएगा ही नहीं. It only comes जब आपको sudden कुछ चाहिए. When you're like, I really want to grow fast, then somebody will tell you, oh, इसको उल्टा रास्ता भी दे सकते, सीधा रास्ता की जगह, because she is willing to twist, turn, bend all means and ways to achieve something.
Wow.
So that is actually towards black magic, and Tantra is not black magic. It's scientific because it heals people, right?
Wow.
But it is definitely not related to anything to do with evil practices.
Yeah, जो मतलब फिल्मों में दिखाते हैं तंत्रा हो रहा है.
नहीं,
That is
नहीं.
so.
So
audiences-
Tantra, I'm sure you would have heard of Ma Kamakhya temple.
Yes.
So a lot of people do Bali there, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people talk of Tantra over there, right?
Yes.
So, when we had gone there, we do spiritual retreats as well. So when we had gone to visit the temple, and when we all went into the main place where Ma's main, the yoni is there, right? So I actually asked a question. I said, Itna Balidan, why? Why is there so much sacrifice there? And it was so strange that it was me who almost witnessed 4 to 5. In a group of 8 people, I have witnessed 4 to 5, okay?
Wow.
Everybody around me didn't, and I was like, why me? Ye mere saath hi kyun, know? So when I sat there to meditate, and my mentor guided me as well, we both entered a past life where we entered a zone where it appeared to us that we are also the creators of starting Balidan. She and me together.
Wow.
So when I saw all of that, I actually asked Ma, I said, can we not stop this? So she said, I'm also saying Balidan of a vegetable, right? Pumpkin is also slashed and is like kind of used as the object or the subject to basically do the sacrifice. So why is everyone only going towards a goat or an animal or a bird?
Yeah.
When there are other ways as well, right?
Yeah.
Because somebody came up and said that if you sacrifice a bigger thing, then your the karmic debt that you're dealing with wo jaldi chala jayega.
Wow.
So
Is it
just
true?
that somebody, no, of course
It's
not.
not
Why?
true.
Just because I'm going to be cutting a pumpkin there and sacrificing a pumpkin there, I won't get enough and you'll get more just
More.
because you sacrificed
A bigger
goat.
thing, yeah.
Again, it's quantification, right?
Yeah.
You did more, so Bhagwan will give you more. You did less, so Bhagwan will give you less. But do you really think God is judging with this quantification, in the eyes of quantification?
Yeah.
So that's one of the very most important laws that we tell you in ancestral healing.
Yeah.
That man and woman are complementary and equal to each other. Nobody said that a man will overpower a woman.
Yeah.
And ideally, if you ask me, really, really long back, when you, me, I don't know what did exist here or what did not, it was the feminine energy that actually was the power to guide everybody.
Yeah.
But somebody out there said, no, the feminine is really becoming very powerful and strong. So let the man come in. Otherwise, what will the female do?
Yeah.
What if she just takes over the whole world, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that, our gods and goddesses sit with so much like jewelry and makeup up there, the way that we see them as, right? You
Of
see
course not.
any pictures of any gods and goddesses
Yeah.
all decked up, right?
Yeah,
Do you really think they sit up
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah.
So to show the Devi that, as if she's, subdued.
Also with 8 hands. That's
Correct.
figurative.
But that's not true. She's
Yeah.
actually an energy.
Yeah.
So at Ma Kamakhya Devi, if you ever visit there are no real forms of the Devis. The Das Mahavidyas are all stones.
They're all stones.
That's because they are actually depicting that energy that they are. Not this whole concept of you dress them up in some red thing with like red lipstick and some gold jewelry and that's not the ideal.
And the eyes of diamond. So
that's not Devi.
Yeah.
Devi is here to guide you and she's here to support you and she's here to take things that don't serve your purpose. Like there are images of Ma Kali as well, right? That she's seen as, something totally different. She's not that.
She's not that.
She's really, she has a very calm demeanor as well as she has a destructive personality. Those are both her. But does that mean that, you have to keep her as if she's the aggressive one? So keep her away. You can only go to her when you have like a problem. That's not true. And otherwise go to Durga or go to Parvati. That's not.
That is not. They're the same person in different forms. So we cannot talk about energy and not talk about Shiva. So in a world where
masculine energy that anybody would actually relate or know about, right? And he is actually the inner and the deepest intuitive sense that you are born with, right? And all of us are born with those intuitive senses. You, me, our team sitting here, all of us are born with our intuitive senses, which means our third eyes are open when we're born. So Shiva doesn't come and say, I'll suddenly come and open your third eye. Shiva is already there in you, right? Because he's the one who is your guiding force from the beginning, from the time that you, it's like your inception on earth takes place with his energy, right? And it's only through conditioning as we grow up that our third eyes kind of have veils or they thicken. किसी का कुछ बंद नहीं होता है. It's like a veil comes in front of your third eye, which does not allow you to see things the way somebody else can. Right? It's basically blocking you to see only through your physical eyes and not from the eyes within you. And those eyes within you is also a part of Shiva.
Wow. As you talk about Shiva, I'd like to also associate this with Gen Zs now. Gen Zs going to Manali in the pretext of Shiva and smoking up joints and bhang.
Oh.
I mean, can you guide us more? Because I'm sure this will reach out to a lot of audiences here and they would want to know, is Shiva the one who said that, okay, it's okay, let's smoke a joint and you'll be able to be a better meditator or go to a temple and be focused? What is it about? What's happening?
So Shiva is basically, he is so strong an energy that he knew what he could handle. Right? So yes, there is a story that says that, he has done, a lot of sadhana, right? And for the use, like for the purpose of sadhana, he has, taken those jadi booties, he has had bhang, he has done all of those things because he had it within him to hold it. Okay? So when you say the Gen Z is going to Manali and many other places in the name of that, we're going to go and do this sadhana and meditation in a joint. In fact, I have cousins as well who always tell me that, Bhabhi, why don't you try a joint? It's going to help you go deeper in your meditation.
Are those Gen Z
Yeah,
cousins?
but
Yeah.
my answer to that is only one thing. When I don't know what I can handle,
Yeah.
okay, meditation is basically going deeper within your own self. Meditation does not mean koi yellow, orange, white, some particular kapde pehen ke you sit like this and let me close my eyes and meditate. Sorry, that's not meditation. Open eyes meditations also take place. Okay,
Wow.
whatever takes you to an altered state of consciousness. In fact, you know what? There are a lot of people in South America. There is a community that works, which is, I don't know if you've heard of shamanism. Okay, that's a practice.
Shamans.
So, shamans are known to take some form of drugs that help you go into altered state of consciousness, through which we take you into your past lives and heal you. Okay, so there is a purpose of these drugs. Not start from morning to evening on a joint and keep passing it around. That's not the concept. And Shiva clearly didn't say, let me make a party of joints. Come, everybody come. सारे में बंदर भी आ जाओ, ये भी आ जाओ.
But वो तो प्रसाद है ना.
Yeah, correct, absolutely. If you ask my husband, he'll always say this. When I tell him on Mahashivratri, why don't you sit and meditate with me? मेरे से बिल्कुल नहीं होगा. I'm getting a headache. So I need something to calm myself down. So understand, what is it doing?
Yeah.
Did it calm Shiva down? It took him to something else.
Some other level.
But what is the Gen Z doing, or what are we all doing with drinking, smoking, joints, etc.? We're actually using it to calm our nervous system down.
Yeah.
And that's not the idea of it. In fact, you know what? In one of the modalities, we don't even use music during healing.
Yeah.
Because music is also known to calm your nervous system down. तो अगर आपकी nervous system को वो बंद कर देगा, the kachra that I need to take out of you, okay, the emotions that need to rise to actually heal you will not come out. Because there are certain drugs which you do which make you go on a certain trip. There are certain drugs that you do that make you go on another kind of a trip, right? Frankly, I have not tried this, so I'm not the best person to tell what is used where. But I have heard, and I've of course seen a lot of my, known people as well. They say it's giving them like a very low feeling. Some people say it's giving them a very high feeling. But the fact is that that's not anything to do with your consciousness. You've lost your consciousness.
Yeah.
What it did to Shiva was taking him to a higher state of consciousness. And that's the idea of it. Not to bring you down and then cry and abuse and all that crap. I mean, that's actually not the purpose of using any of these products.
Wow. I mean, as you just spoke about Gen Zs, not to, kind of harm any of these Gen Zs hearing this. However, the massively used word on Quora, Reddit and everywhere else is Kundalini. So, can you tell us, like, it's rising for everybody now apparently.
Oh, yeah.
And guide us more into what is it really, and is it that easy for everybody to rise like that?
Everybody's Kundalini is rising in today's time. Okay, but having said that, Kundalini again is something that you need to be able to handle, because it's that potent energy within you which once gets awakened, there's no turning back. And Kundalini is basically, so you have 3 nadis within our system, within our body, okay? And the Kundalini awakening happens from the middle path. It's like it's telling you to choose the middle path, and the energy rises and the union happens at your crown center, which is basically the Shiva and Shakti, or the yin and yang, or the divine masculine and divine feminine meeting. Now, again, for a lot of people, this will be like, oh, are you talking about like physical meeting? No, I'm not. Right? I'm talking about a union which is way more sacred and way more deeper, which a lot of
Does it also look like a serpent as shown in the photos?
Yeah, it does. So when I personally had my Kundalini awakening taking place, which was at Vashisht Gufa in near Rishikesh. Of course, it was guided.
Tell
so
us
please,
more about that
yeah,
also.
please. There is nobody who can just say I sat here and it happened. No, it's my gentle request and probably a message to all that please do it under guidance, because it can take you astray as well. You may feel lost, and some people may feel heavy, some people may feel stuck after that, right? So it's a process that we guide you through, and when I was guided through this process, I actually felt the serpent taking my neck, like completely circulating all around my neck. And then at that point of time, it got so heavy here that I didn't know what to do with it, and I was like, either I'm going to choke or something's going to come out of me. And in fact, one of my soul sisters did throw up after that, right? Because it can be that intense to you.
That heavy.
And when the process finished and I finally had it rise up till my crown and out of the crown, I think I've just slept like, it was probably just a 20-minute nap, but it felt like a 4-hour sleep.
Wow.
Okay.
Were you also seeing visions and a lot of sounds that they
At that
talk
point
about?
of time, no. But post that, yes. My intuitive senses opened up a lot more. I kind of trained to be an ancestral healing facilitator as well after that. So your psychic abilities open up after that for sure. Your creativity goes, I don't know if I have to quantify it, 100x. I mean, I don't know the right quantification,
Yeah.
but it is a power
It's
that
explosive, basically.
it actually it becomes your guiding force.
Okay.
Okay, and if you're not able to take care of it, please understand it will go back as well.
Oh.
Okay, it's not like once done and lifetime ke liye your kundalini is going to just stay like that. No. It's a process, it's an evolution that keeps taking place. So when you're ready for more, the guides, the masters will show up in your life at that point of time, and you will be taken to another level. So Kundalini is not a one-time process. It also takes place in layers.
Wow. You just spoke of ancestral healing. I'd also like to add a question which is about ancestral healing as much as past life regression, and it's happening a lot these days. So firstly, not about how it's done, but it's also about how to differentiate a guide who is not being honest about this, because this has become too commercial as well.
Correct.
How do I differentiate a person who's just scamming me versus a person who's saying the truth?
Right. What I'd say is that understand all these practices, Harshita, are for a purpose to empower you. So when you're saying, how do I know who's scamming me and who's not? I think the first red flag is to check that whether that person is making you dependent on them. No healer, therapist, spiritualist, I don't know what you want to give them the names, soul coach, guide. These practices are not to disempower you, they are to empower you. Instilling fear in the name of a past life, in the name of an ancestral healing practice, definitely that's a red flag. Right? Because this is to heal and deal that trigger, that wound, that story of your life, so that it never comes back to you. It's to make you grow. Right? So first thing is that people who are doing such work are here for a purpose to empower the person who's come to them. Second would be, it is also for the purpose of raising the collective consciousness. So it's not just very individual centric. Aapka bhala ho gaya to ab jao and I don't give a damn. Okay, maybe guide you through where you can go and help more people with what you did. So that again tells you that this person is doing the right work. Because just for the purpose of, I know all of us take an energy exchange. We all take money for the healing sessions, for the work that we do. And why not? Because let's understand, we invest our energy as well, right? So it's like a compensation. Like today you and me are sitting here, we're paying for this light bill, etc., whatever that we've hired here, right? So because we are paying for the services that we have taken, same way you are paying for the services that you have taken. So it's not like initially, when I began, people used to be like, this is sacred work, this is like, religious work, how can you charge 5,000 rupees, how can you charge so much? Like, okay. So I said, 1 second, it is not about, me doing some kind of sacred and some, religious work or something like that where money is not involved. Let me tell you, money is what you're here for. Human birth, kyun liya hai? To upar rehte na then. If you've taken a human birth, you've taken it because you want to experience the energy of money. So money is a part of your life. So why have you made it such a devil in your life? Right? So of course, when we charge you the energy exchange, let's not make it like it's only for the energy exchange. It's also for the fact that whether the person has grown out of it or no. Right? And I'm not saying they can get after you, they can, one session, one person can heal you completely. No. It's like our layers are peeled. So today maybe you've come to me for a session and you received something and that's healed one part of you. Tomorrow you may go to somebody who will heal you on another aspect, and it's like an onion's layers are peeled. So that's how it actually works. And to differentiate would be if the person is going through this track, this process, right? First, I think my ground rule to that is you can't instill fear, because you're coming and placing trust in that person. For those many minutes, hours, that person, the therapist or the spiritualist, becomes on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Right? So first and foremost is you cannot screw around with that person's trust.
Yeah.
You can't say, अगर आपने ये नहीं किया, इसका second session नहीं लिया, तो आपका काम नहीं होगा. No.
Yeah.
You can always gently put it out that, look, this is the first layer we've done. There is more to it. When you're ready, you can come back.
Yeah.
Why does it have to seem like that if you don't do this, it won't happen?
Yeah.
There's a difference, right? I said two statements. You can come back when you're ready.
Yeah.
Versus, if you don't do this, you won't get healed.
Yeah.
Of course you'll get healed. Why? God is there with you, right?
Yeah.
We're only the mediums working for and through God.
Fair.
We're not God itself.
To a layman or to somebody who's novice, tell us, when is pranic versus what is right for that person? Is it pranic or is it tarot? You do a lot of past life healing as well.
Yeah.
So what is required when?
It depends on the situation and it depends on what you are ready to receive.
Okay.
Right? But yes, different modalities work on different aspects of your life. Like there are some modalities that work only on your physical well-being. There are some that work on your emotional well-being, right? So of course, deciding what modality to use where would be what is the problem the person is coming with. But sessions such as a tarot session, an akashic session, I think anybody and everybody can go through those, because those are like giving you, they are guidance tools. They open your Pandora's box and they actually give you all the information, wisdom, clarity that you would be looking at in your life. After that, there could be specific sessions we do to heal a specific area of your life. So it's very area centric, I would say, or very person centric, because one person could be open to one modality, maybe not to another. And that's fair. Because doesn't mean the healing can only happen through one modality. Healing is possible through different ways. Therefore, we have so much on our plate, right? So whoever's ready for whatever, it comes to them. They can go and take that. And let me tell you that also, only when a person is open to it and is open to receiving it, it will come to them.
Wow.
Somebody could be really pestering and saying, I really need this. And I've had a client like that who's come saying, past life. But the person could not go through a past life session because that person was not open enough. Was not ready to receive or to see himself as a perpetrator in that situation.
Oh my God.
So till the person was not ready to see कि मैं भी ऐसा कुछ crime कर सकता हूँ, उसका वो healing हुआ ही नहीं.
Wow.
So it's a lot on what you are ready to receive as well.
Wow. Actually, that was supposed to be my next question, talking about pranic healing. To a person who's come to me and said, oh, this is all psychological, pranic healing specifically, what would you like to tell them? Is it scientific? Is it an exchange of energies? Talking about draining the energy of a person who's actually doing it, and it being psychological.
I'll share an example here. I had gone for my first past life healing session, and I saw my in-laws and my parents in a role reversal. My in-laws were my parents and my parents were my in-laws.
Wow.
Okay, so when I came out of the session, I told my mentor, I said, मैंने बहुत अच्छी movie की story आपको बताई है. What was going on? So she's saying, why? I said, I thought I imagined the whole thing. So she's saying, okay, even if you did,
What's the harm?
what's the harm?
Ah.
Okay, because imagination, I'm going to break that word up. It's a nation of images within you.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, first thing. Second thing, why did I make up only that story?
Yeah.
If I made it up,
Yeah.
I could have cooked up some better story, no? Given some Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, something else.
Yeah.
Why did I give that story only?
Yeah. Because a human 50,000 वर्ड सोचता है एक दिन में और
Correct.
वही आपने यही क्यों सोचा इतने?
करेक्ट. उस टाइम पे जब मेरे को ऑल्टर्ड स्टेट ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस में लेके गए हैं, हाउ डिड ओनली दैट कम आउट ऑफ मी? सो साइंटिफिक भी है, साइकोलॉजी भी आपकी चल रही है, क्योंकि ये माइंड बॉडी सोल हर लेवल पे काम कर रहा है. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है? डज इट हैव टू बी? सो इट्स लाइक सेइंग, you know, the shivling, just before when we were talking, when I entered here, the shivling I told you about. So for somebody it could be a big black stone in my house.
Yep.
But for me, it is the one who's created everything for us.
Yeah.
So belief bhi hai. But my point is कि what is the problem?
Yeah.
अगर belief है तो होने दो. अगर साइकोलॉजी से आपका काम चल रहा है तो चलने दो. And if you think it's scientific and that makes you happy or that gives you what you are ready to receive, okay, take it. Right? Because eventually, let me tell you,
stuff now, and which brings me to a very physical aspect. I see you wearing a lot of crystals, and as much as they speak of energy, and I can feel it totally. So help us understand what basically crystals the potence that they have, and how they can add or subtract from your life wearing the wrong crystals versus wearing the right ones.
So here again, the crystals choose you, you don't choose them.
Okay.
First thing.
Okay.
So there's no right and wrong.
Okay.
There are multiple crystals for multiple purposes.
Okay.
For example, on my hand itself, okay, I'm wearing a kyanite, an amethyst, a sodalite, very similar colors, right? The blues and the purples, and so they could be working on the same thing, right, but differently. So there's no right and wrong here.
Wow.
Firstly. Secondly, crystals are sentient beings, which means उनकी एक खुद की energy पहले से ही है. They come from the natural resources. They carry their own energy itself.
Okay.
So wearing it, using it, keeping it, all makes a difference. Doesn't mean only if you wear it, it's going to give you something. Even if it's lying on the table, it is giving you and me the same energy.
Got it.
Right? And crystals work or they work better when you are in sync with them, which means when you talk to your crystals or when you have put an intention in them.
Yeah, you're energizing them interchangeably.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's how they work. And the only thing that I have over the time learned about crystals is when we are wearing them. Wear them with a purpose or with an intention that's going to work for you. Like for example, when you are giving and receiving money, which hand do you use?
Okay.
That works even with crystals.
Oh, wow.
So the energies I want, I'm wearing in my left hand. The energies I do not want, I want to block, I'm wearing in my right hand.
Wow.
So there is a concept of giving and receiving.
Wow.
Giving in balance and receiving in balance.
Wow.
With the crystals.
Wow.
So probably that's one of the only things that I say as a concept crystals have. Otherwise there's nothing like ऐसे रखोगे तो नहीं काम करेगा, कपड़े के ऊपर रखोगे तो ही काम करेगा. Yeah, like I said, they're sentient beings, sacred है, तो उनको आप प्यार से treat करो. Like how you treat the elders in your house. Will you go kicking somebody who's really old in your house?
Not the young, not the old, but yeah. That's
So you won't really
go out and abuse them.
Correct. So it's the same way you will treat your crystals as well.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes even with any of वो पड़ा रहेगा, पड़ा है उंगली में, वो वैसे ही पड़ा रहेगा. Right? But if you're actually saying, I want your energy, I'm really wishing that you contribute.
jewelry और ये सब बहुत बिकता है. So is it how do I differentiate if it's authentic or not? Because people are putting a lot of money on these jewelries. They're putting a lot of money because they're selling in real gold and real silver, and so how do I differentiate if the stone is actually real?
That's actually become quite I'd say the downside of this, because a lot of people are lab generating them, creating them through artificial purposes. So the only way that I figure out whether the crystals are real or no is I check the energy of the crystal. If the crystal has an energy when you hold it and you feel something from it, it's genuine, it's authentic. And if you don't feel anything, know that it is lab generated. And all of us, let me tell you, have a sense of figuring whether we can feel the energy or no. Okay? You figure out hot and cold. The room is hot, the room is cold, right? Same way, एक crystal के अंदर से भी आपको energy feel होगी. It's not like, oh, I have to get trained. How will I come to know? None of that. No big,
just your mind and soul to it.
It's not. There's no certification. There's no right and wrong way of checking it. Nothing like that. And it's no rocket science. Okay, you hold the crystal in, preferably your left hand, cover it with your right hand, and you just feel, sense it. Understand, vibe, the word vibe. Sense the vibe of the crystal, and you will know whether it's authentic or no.
Now you're getting the
really going to love it.
Code to virality. However, like something is happening for sure. Like you say, you can feel it and you understand it. However, let's move on to the flip side of it as a career. I'd like to, because as a career it's booming and clearly, and how. So who should opt for this as a career? Like you've been in this career, and how is it changed in the past decade is too much. In the past 5 years or so, how do you see the healing industry, crystal industry change overall?
So actually it's not a decade, it's more than that. Okay? From 2012, the frequencies of Earth have changed.
Oh, wow.
Okay?
Wow.
We are moving into a new Earth.
Okay.
We were in 3D all this while. We're moving to 5D.
Okay.
We're going to move into something called a golden frequency very, very soon.
5D is frequency, right?
Correct.
4th dimension is time.
Correct.
I mean, guide us into this. I mean, what is 5th dimension?
Basically, there are different dimensions that are there, right? That people have researched upon and that exist.
There are 10 dimensions. How many are there?
12
that we
dimensions.
Know of
currently.
Okay.
And there are different beings working at different places on different dimensions.
Wow.
Okay. So there are masters working at every level. Okay, and they are sending us the information that we need to move from 3D to 5D. So let's talk from decade back, right? 2016 you said.
Yes.
So 2016 se aap dekho, just think about it for a couple of seconds, a minute, or however long you take to,
Ah,
time has moved faster.
true.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Look at it this year. We began 2026. 6 months are over. Good morning.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
6 months are over.
Yeah.
How has
Yeah.
time flown?
Yeah.
पहले
Quick.
क्यों नहीं टाइम इतना फास्ट जा रहा था?
I think तब रील्स नहीं थे
So 3D to 4D shift हो चुका है and 4D to 5D हम जा रहे हैं. All of us
Yeah.
have yet not moved.
Wow.
COVID?
COVID.
Let's talk from COVID.
Yeah.
Why did COVID happen?
Yeah.
Because some Chinese bad shit happened.
Yeah, bad shit. It was literally and figuratively,
Okay.
yeah.
No, because the earth was changing its frequency.
Yeah.
China is a part of earth.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm talking of earth as a whole.
It's moving fast.
उसका frequency change करने के लिए the people who did not align with that new frequency were dropped.
Wow. Oh my god.
They chose to drop dead there.
Oh, it's the first time on the internet we are hearing. I mean, this realization is coming, but
No,
I mean,
it's
thank
true.
you for. I mean, yeah.
You remember the plane
It's
crash that
true.
happened in Ahmedabad?
It's true. Out of nowhere. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
120 people or something. The number
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
forgetting now died together.
Also the wars.
Yeah. People have chosen this.
Yeah, they've chosen.
It was a soul contract that so many of us will go together. These calamities, disasters, wars, etc. are taking place because we have chosen that to move, धक्का लगेगा. Let me tell you one thing at soul level, जो हम 5D और 6D, 7D की बात करते हैं ना, वहाँ पे there is only one frequency which is the energy of love, positivity.
Is it? Oh.
Negativity exists only हमारे प्रिय earth पे.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
Why does negativity exist? I've been asked this question a lot of time in my Akashic sessions, that you're saying that we write our own story.
Yeah.
Okay? We've chosen this whole thing ourselves. Why will I write something like this that my mother should go so soon? Okay? Or why have I written such a bad life for myself, etc., etc.?
Yeah.
It's because the only way your soul evolves or grows is when you get a push. On earth. उधर तो आराम से कर लेगा वो. On earth, human body में उसको एक धक्का चाहिए. धक्का नेगेटिविटी से आता है, पेन से आता है, because your body has a nervous system, your soul doesn't have a nervous system. Who will feel the pain, the soul or the body?
Obviously, the body.
So the soul is actually enjoying, हाँ इसको पेन हुआ, अब इसको अक्कल आएगी.
It's growing.
Soul enjoys death, body doesn't enjoy death. Because soul को तो पता लग रहा है ये इसका चैप्टर खत्म, ऊपर आएंगे, फिर वापस जाएंगे अगर जाना चाहते हैं तो.
It's also great
सोल
after
को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ रहा है, बॉडी को फर्क पड़ रहा है. So this whole 3D, 4D, 5D, the whole move, the shift is all taking place to raise a higher consciousness on earth collectively.
Wow.
And that will happen only when there are some factors of pain, power involved. Because on earth is the only place where there is pain, power, sex, money, etc.
While you just spoke about energy and the fifth dimension, nowhere yet. It's a very potent energy वाला question है ये. Pleiadians exist करते हैं. क्या है वो? And how are they adding meaning to current life in the fourth dimension? Or are they?
So Pleiadians, so there's not just Pleiadians, firstly. We have different star seeds, as we call them, that are existing. Okay. Pleiadians are, I think, on the 7th or the 8th D. Okay. They're functioning from there, and that's how they're helping us.
Wow.
Okay.
How?
Then there is on the 9th D, there are Arcturians. Okay. On the 6th dimension, there are the Orions.
Yeah.
So these are all the different star seed families. You, me, we all come from some or the other star seed. We could have even been in two different star seeds at two different timelines. Because understand, time is only a concept here. उधर कुछ timeline नहीं है.
So are they there here currently?
Correct.
Oh, so
Correct.
they're coexisting.
Correct. Because I through a past life again session, I have discovered that I also belong to the Pleiadian family.
Yeah. Wow.
So we are here, no?
Wow.
So in fact, I don't know if you know this, we also do something called parallel lifetimes.
Yeah.
I have a parallel version of me living in Greece.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like a personal story, but so I've had like 3 back-to-back miscarriages, 21, 22 and 23. Okay, and every time I miscarried a baby, the Greek version of me has given birth to a baby, and thanks to that, my urge to have a second baby reduced, because my babies were still given the chance to be born on earth through her.
Wow.
So ये
she's
coexisting
existing
ही है.
physically.
Yes.
ये physically existing.
Yes, वो है, वो जिंदा है, वो है. She's a lady, she's a girl, she's a woman,
Oh.
having 3 children.
Oh. So do we ever get a chance to meet our parallel versions, or?
That's a soul contract between you and your parallel selves. She and me have decided we will never cross paths on earth, but she will take energy from me. I am the
This, and when we talk about Jio के towers से Jio को energy मिलती है, and I don't know why it's so hard for people to even believe कि ये होता है.
correct.
They can believe that a phone can connect in the US,
Yeah, correct.
and they cannot, however, believe that there is a parallel existence, or maybe there is something scientific to it. Maybe Indians have taken time to believe something that